Welcome to episode 97 of Cameron Sports Podcast. This is host here, Cameron Lindsay, and I am back with another brand new episode. If you watched my last episode, I made my 2025 NBA Finals predictions, and this episode is a special edition of the Stanley Cup Finals in the NHL. We finally have our matchup. The defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, will defend their title in a rematch against the Edmonton Oilers from the Western Conference. Like I said, this was a rematch from last year's Stanley Cup Finals. The Panthers won in 7 games against the Oilers. Like I said, I watched it a little bit, but like I said, if you watch my episodes, I'm slowly getting more and more into hockey and baseball. Like, I'm a Seattle Krakens fan. But I'm definitely going to be watching Game 1. It's this week, Wednesday, June 4th. So check it out, please, if you haven't already. If you missed Game 1, make sure to check out Game 2. The Game 2, I think, will be Friday. Yeah, Friday or Saturday. But like I said, Panthers won in 7 games last year over the Oilers. One fact to definitely know about the Florida Panthers, this will make 3 years in a row that they have made the Stanley Cup Finals. The first year they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights. Last year they beat Edmonton, and now this year in a rematch against Edmonton. The last time a team made to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 years in a row was the Tampa Bay Lightning from 2020 to 2022, when they was trying to three-peat, but they came up short against due to the Colorado Avalanche. But yeah, Tampa Bay Lightning, and also that's another Florida team. So two Florida teams in the past 8 years have made the Stanley Cup Finals 3 times in a row. So the state of Florida is doing something good when it comes to professional hockey. Gotta give them that. But like I said, all playoffs during the NHL, I can't bet against Florida. They have a really good team. Even when they was down 2 games to none, and I'm sitting there watching like they may be in trouble. Guess what they did? Ended up winning 3 straight. They went to a Game 7, won that. So, and I know it's hard to beat a team 2 years in a row when it comes to it in the championship game or championship series, but I think Florida should be the favorite. I know Edmonton has been playing great hockey. Like I said, again, 2nd year in a row they made the Stanley Cup Finals. So obviously Edmonton's not no pushover either. Matter of fact, one of their players, Leon Draisaitl, number 29 for the Oilers, is a Hart Memorial Trophy finalist. If y'all don't know what the Hart Memorial Trophy is, it's an MVP trophy. So basically like how the NBA, MLB got NBA MVP regular season trophies. He's a finalist for MVP, which is called the Hart Memorial Trophy in the NHL. But like I said, they got a lot of good players on Edmonton. Like I said, this is 3 years in a row for Florida, 2 years in a row for Edmonton. Like I said, now again, like I said, the Panthers have won 3 years in a row. They won last year. They're looking to repeat. This will be repeat in the last team to repeat in the NHL, again, was the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2020, 2021. They came up short in 2022 when they lost to the Colorado Avalanche. The Panthers' path to the Stanley Cup Finals, they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's like I said, the same team that three-peated not too long ago. They beat the Toronto Maple Leaf, and they beat the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, I thought that Hurricane series would have been good. I thought it would have went 6-7 games, but Florida beat them with ease, which didn't surprise me not too much, a little bit, because I thought Carolina would put up more of a fight. But like I said, I can't bet against Florida. That's the reason why I had them coming out of the Eastern Conference anyway and make it into the Stanley Cup Finals to defend their title. But I don't know, like it can go either way. Like I said, it's hard to beat a team twice. Both these teams know each other. They played each other last year, so I think this is going to be a very interesting series. But now on to the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers are 0-2 in the Stanley Cup Finals in the last 25 years. They lost last year to the Florida Panthers, and in 2006 they lost to the Carolina Hurricane. Like I said, this is the second year in a row Edmonton has reached the Stanley Cup Finals. The Oilers' path to the finals, they beat the LA Kings, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Dallas Stars to reach the Stanley Cup Finals. Again, Edmonton, like I said, they definitely have a very good team led by the MVP finalist for the Hart Memorial Trophy. Number 29, Leon Draisaitl. I know I'm pronouncing his name wrong. I'm gonna get better at names. It's kind of hard to pronounce, but I think this definitely will be a 6-7 game series, just like it was last year. Last year it went 7 games, so I expect this year to be 6-7 games as well. Again, it didn't take me too long to make my pick for this game, but at the same time, the way the Stanley Cup playoffs have been going this year, anything's possible. And like I say, in my opinion, I feel like besides football and basketball, when it comes to, professional sports, I think those are the only two sports where home field, the home crowd, home field, home crowd matters. And hockey, I feel like in hockey and baseball, it really doesn't matter all too much. Maybe a little bit. It matters. I ain't saying completely doesn't matter. It does, but not as much as like in football or in basketball. So, because really, what the fans gonna do? Yell and hit the glass? Like, I understand that. Like, but they're not on the ice. They're not, moving the puck with sticks, being physical. And like in baseball, the crowd is not throwing pitches. They're not swinging the bat. So, but with that being said, I'm going Florida in 6. Like I said, I just can't bet against Florida. I'll be a dummy to do that. Not just as a fan, but also as a journalist. I'm going to keep it real. Like I said, Florida has made the Stanley Cup Finals 3 years in a row. I seen a couple years ago Florida beat a 60-plus win Boston Bruins team in 7 games. A Boston Bruins team where most people thought they was favored to go on. This is like a few years ago. 3 years ago. That's Boston Bruins team won. Broke the record for the most wins in the regular season in NHL history. The Florida Panthers beat them. I think it was the first round of the playoffs that year. Beat them in 7. And that right there hit me like, wow. It really doesn't matter how many games regular season does matter, but winning that amount of games does not matter if you don't produce in the postseason. And I gain a lot of respect for the Florida Panthers, seeing them do that, beating a 60-win Boston Bruins teams that set the record for most wins in the NHL. And ever since then, they skyrocketed. Made the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, even though they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights. They bounced back the next year and beat Edmonton. Now they're in the Stanley Cup Finals again this year against Edmonton. So it's just hard for me to go against them. I just really can't. For my experienced NHL fans out there, let me know in the comments. Like, do you think that Edmonton will get over on Florida this year, get their revenge? Again, either way, I think this series will go at least 6 games or 7. I'll be shocked either way if it was less than 6, like 5. If it was for a sweep or 5 games, I'll be shocked. I will say if it is a short series, it probably will be Florida that does it to Edmonton rather than Edmonton doing it to Florida. But like I said, I'm definitely gonna be watching the Stanley Cup Finals. I hope all of you as well. If you're a NHL fan or a new fan like myself, like I said, I talk and debate just about almost every sport except for soccer, golf. Yeah, you're not gonna see me talk so much about that. But Like I said, I definitely appreciate each one of y'all tuning in to another episode of Cameron Sports Podcast. Again, make sure to follow me on all social medias: Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram. I have a podcast page for all of those. I'm working on slowly growing it. I got something else I'm working on behind the scenes to help improve my channel and make it feel more make it feel more like a real show, like even like a real show, like that you see like on like when you saw Undisputed, First Take, First Things First. Make it feel like a real show, and I'm working on that. And slowly, like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day, and if I want my podcast to be the best, it's gonna take time, and I have all the time in the world. So, and I can't wait to look back and be like, I want to thank all my subscribers who helped me get to where I am. So, but yeah, if you want to touch down with Cam, please hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications. That way you don't miss any episodes. I appreciate any, even if you don't watch it right when I upload it, you can watch it whenever. The episodes ain't going nowhere. I appreciate whenever you can watch them on your own time. That's fine with me. I appreciate that. But yeah, please make sure to subscribe, and you can touch down with Cam anytime. But I'll catch y'all next time for another episode. This is Cameron Lindsay with a special edition of the Stanley Cup Finals. And I'm signing out. Catch y'all next time.